Pete wants to look cool. He asks everyone, "What should I wear?" "Wear your yellow shirt," his mom says. "It's my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear your red shirt," Pete's friend Marty says. "It is my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear your long pants," Pete's teacher says. "They are my favorite." Wait, actually, "Wear your blue shirt," Pete's brother Mom says. But brother Bob says, "It is my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear the shorts with the fish," Pete's friend Callie says. "They are my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear the polka dot socks," the bus driver says. "They are my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear the cowboy boots," Grumpy Toad says. They are my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear the tie with the stripes," Emma says. "It is my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear your baseball hat," his coach says. "It is my favorite." So Pete does. Pete puts on all the clothes. Does he look cool? No, Pete looks silly. He also feels very hot. Pete goes home. He changes his clothes. He puts on his favorite shirt. He puts on his favorite pants. He puts on his favorite socks. He puts on his favorite shoes. And he puts on his sunglasses. Pete says, "Now I am cool." If you want to be cool, just be you. Pete is going to the pet store. He's going to get a pet. Pete wants a bird, a hamster, or a lizard. But then Pete sees a goldfish. "That's what I want," he tells his mom. Pete's mom gets fish food. "I'm going to call you Goldie," Pete says to his new pet. "You are my first pet," Pete tells Goldie on the way home. Pete takes Goldie to his room. He feeds her fish food. "Now what?" asks Pete. He can't play with Goldie. He can't swim with her. Pete knows what he can do. Pete paints a picture of Goldie. He paints 4 fins and an orange tail. "What a pretty painting," says Pete's mom. "You can keep it?" says Pete. "Cool painting," says Bob. "Can you make one for me?" "Sure," says Pete. Pete paints a picture for Bob. "Wow," says Bob. "It looks just like Goldie." Bob shows Pete's painting to his friend Tom. Now Tom wants a painting too. Pete paints another picture of Goldie to take to school for show and tell. "This is Goldie, my pet fish," Pete tells his class. "Cute fish, cool colors, nice work." "I wish I had a picture of Goldie," says Benny. "I'll make you one," says Pete. Everyone in Pete's class wants a painting of Goldie. Pete's grandma wants a painting too. Pete has a lot to do. He has to feed Goldie. He has to do homework. Pete paints and paints. He makes paintings for everyone on his list. At last, Pete is done. He worked hard. There is no paint left. Pete's paintings are a big hit. Pete is happy to be done. But Pete is not done. Now everyone in town wants a painting of Goldie. Pete gets more paint. I don't know what to do, he says to his mom. I wish I could paint pictures for everyone. I just don't have time. Pete's mom has an idea. She tells it to Pete. Great idea, says Pete. Pete gets right to it. This time he works outside and makes a huge painting. Honk honk, beep beep. Here comes Pete. He has made one painting of Goldie for everyone in town to enjoy. What a great day when Pete gets home. He tells the real Goldie all about it. It is nice outside. Strawberry Shortcake plays with her friends. Look, the leaves are red. The leaves are orange. The leaves are falling down. Summer will be over soon. It is almost time for school. The Berrykins have never been to school. The Berrykins are scared. Blueberry Muffin has a great idea. The girls can play school. The Berrykins can play the students. Who will play the teacher? The girls turn the bookstore into a classroom. The Berrykins are ready to play the students. Strawberry is ready to play the teacher. Strawberry and Orange Blossom will teach math. 1 + 1 is 2. Blueberry will teach reading. The cats sat on a mat. Lemon Meringue will teach science. Mix, mix, mix. Plum Pudding will teach gym. Throw and catch. Oh no, Raspberry Torte is sad. What will she teach the Berrykins? The girls will want to help Raspberry. Lemon has a great idea. Raspberry can teach the Berrykins about friendship. Raspberry is a great friend. Raspberry teaches the Berrykins how to be good friends. Raspberry is happy now. The girls are finished with their lessons. The Berrykins are ready for school. Sister and brother Bear were having a sleepover. Lizzie and Barry Bruin were sisters and brothers' best friends. They were going to spend the night. Lizzie and Barry's parents brought them to the bear's treehouse. I hope Lizzie and Barry sleep well tonight, said Mrs. Bruin. We'll make sure they don't stay up too late, said Mama Bear. Lizzie and Barry put their things in sister and brother's room. Then they all had dinner. After dinner, the cubs played a game of barrel-poli. Lizzie was winning and soon owned most of the tree houses. The other cubs gave up. Next, they watched a movie. It was about a wizard. The wizard had a cape. It gave him magical powers. The cubs decided to put on their own magic show. They got costumes out of the attic. The audience was Mama, Papa, and Honey. The show went well until Barry tripped on his magic cape. He knocked over brother, sister, and Lizzie. They laughed and laughed. The show is over, said Mama. It's time for bed. The cubs put on their pajamas, washed up, and brushed their teeth. Mama and Papa read them a bedtime story and tucked them in. Good night, everyone, said Mama, turning off the lights. Ma and Papa went to bed and soon were asleep. But the cubs were not all sleepy. Brother got out his flashlight. Let's tell spooky stories, he said. Mama woke up. She thought she heard something. She woke Papa and they went to the cubs' room. Let's see if I missed one. Sister and Lizzie were hiding under the covers. Brother and Barry seemed to be sleeping. What is going on here? Asked Papa. Brother was telling a spooky story, said Sister. And Lizzie got scared and yelled. That's enough spooky stories, said Mama. Now everyone go to sleep. Mama and Papa went back to bed again, but Mama heard a sound in the bathroom. She woke Papa. They found Sister and Lizzie putting on Mama's lipstick. Brother and Barry were covered in Papa's shaving cream. That's enough of that, said Mama. Back to bed. Now the cubs were worn out. They went right to sleep. Mama and Papa sat outside the cubs' room all night. They did not get much sleep. The next morning, the cubs slept late. At 11 o'clock, Mr. and Mrs. Bruin came up to pick Lizzie and Barry. I was so worried about them, said Mrs. Bruin. I didn't sleep a wink all night. Neither did we, said Papa, his eyes closing. After Lizzie and Barry went home, Mama and Papa sat down on the sofa. They were soon asleep. It was Mama and Papa's turn for a sleepover.